By pressing play, you've been transported to a dimension where there will be no apologies given for the ridiculous and random comments made by your host and their guests. Thank you for listening and enjoy the experience. You already know what it is because you press play. It's another Monday.
And you know what Mondays are.
It's about to bring you episode 18 of
Yo, where the captions at?
Yo, 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 where the captions at today?
Really, Mario?
Yeah. No, nigga, I'm that Luigi. Yep, she get wet, I scrape it off like a squeegee. I rock that green, you know what that mean. You got the lasagna, the stramboni. I come into this shit,
But
do
you
this
didn't show
podcast
us
with my
that
homie. That nigga Ross, that's the O to the, that's the R to the O to the S. Long story short, this podcast is the best.
Thank you for showing that up.
I had no choice. I literally just spilled the beer. Hey, guys. Thank you for joining us today on the most ridiculously random pop culture podcast in the 719.
Brought to you by two black men.
Exactly. And as always, I'm yours truly, Kels for Show, a.k.a. the Pro Bender you'll always remember. And join with me always is my bro host.
You know, just because I'm an Aquarius, that makes me a bloodbender. So, no, I'm just kidding, y'all. That's a TikTok joke. But it's the boy Roscoe.
Where you could tick and you could talk all you want to. And join us always is our bro for show, that boy, D to the Daniel.
You know they're stealing your data, right, Ross?
Oh,
Data.
no, I don't watch. I watch it via YouTube.
Oh. Hi, guys.
I'm smart.
Word. And joining us today is a special guest of ours.
I ain't letting the Chinese take my info.
Word. That's what it is, so honestly. And she's one of our, yes, we can see her name. And this guest, she is one of our newly acquired
Good
people
friends.
in our friendship circles.
Yes.
We met her at a little bar called Supernova.
AKA our cheers.
Exactly. And every time we see her, it's always a delight. It's always a highlight of the night. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but sometimes you just get it that tight. It's none other.
You son of a bitch.
Son of a bad bitch. Respect my mama. None other than our dear friend, the lovely, the amazing, astonishing.
Yes.
Yes, that does start with A. Audrey.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm good, girl. You, Ross?
Oh, I'm doing great. You know, another weekend doing some D&D.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was actually up in Denver for the weekend. Sometimes you got to get out the Springs. You know, I went bowling with some whites, and it was fun. You get to be a part of a different culture, like niggas and boats. I was just sitting there like, ugh. But then after I was done with that, I was like, word. And also, low-key, I got sunburnt again. Because I was looking like a very Chris Rock lobster.
This number,
Get it? Rock lobster from the B-52s and Chris Rock.
this sunburn
I
number.
mean, come on. You
Really?
just gonna use the butter? I ain't Sebastian, though. I'm a whole lobster, man.
I want
Them
to quit this
crabs.
show. I want to quit this show so bad.
It's what they signed up for, baby. It's what they signed up for, baby. But anyways, yes, that was my weekend. I had a good time. Sometimes, like I always say, you got to get out of the Springs, whether it's Pueblo, Ill, or Denver. Just get out of this town, do what you do. I had to recalibrate myself, kind of align my chakra, get in tune with my previous self, just like the subject of today's episode is going to be about Korra, and I did that. Word.
How was your weekend this weekend? Because I know how Daniel's was because he was my DM. Well, I did make him mad for the weekend because
You might have been the best.
I made
the best player of them all this weekend.
but I did make the house like, you know,
Tell that to the ladies.
fall into my mom manipulation.
Oh, now he's
Slade
slayed.
Wilson-Stein.
I'll say that
He slayed on Deathstroke.
Roscoe lied to everyone in the house about a thing that I did for them, saying he did it, and then
Just like freedom.
and then they didn't believe me.
Of course. My manipulation. The art of deception. And how was your weekend, Audrey?
It was good. I am working on actually building a table.
Nice.
What type of table?
It's made from scrap wood from like our former deck that we had.
Was it struck by lightning?
No.
Oh,
we
no
just-
magical abilities?
Nah. We just tore it down because they wanted a new deck.
That's cool.
So,
because,
you're building a coffee table from scrap wood from your backyard.
Yes.
Are you prepared for every time you sip coffee from said table, you are transported into said person's story.
Wait,
Sure.
It's called Coffee Tales. I'm about to write it right after
You're
that.
Oh,
such
okay.
a loser.
You can't spell loser without the
But I ain't gonna lie. It's so though. I'm not gonna lie though. That was a good plot.
I know, nigga. Are you afraid of the dark? You will be.
I mean, that was my favorite show growing up.
True. Word. All right, guys. So if you're familiar with the show, or if you're not, we start off the first portion of it with Yo, what's poppin'? When we
What
go
be
around
poppin'?
Europe and talk about headlines from the world of pop culture. And I'm just going to kick this shit off with a little bit of live action news. Like a couple of weeks ago, we talked about how the Magic School Bus was getting a live action adaptation. But guess what other PBS favorite TV series is getting a live action movie?
Is it? You got to listen to your heart.
Nope,
Listen.
but-
it's not Arthur.
I want. Now that you say that, I need a live action CG. No, not even live action, just a
Just
CGI.
CGI
Yeah, 'cause you can't do
Arthur?
Arthur. No.
Is it Wishbone?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That little terrier, that
What's
little
the story?
doggy, Wishbone. Yeah, we about to
We
find out.
we getting a full 2 hours or 90
Yes,
minutes.
and guess what story he's gonna do?
Which story?
50 Shades of Grey. So you
Oh,
see Wishbone,
oh,
Doggy
nasty.
Style, that whole film.
I'm gonna be honest. I've been protesting 50 Shades of Grey, but now since Wishbone about to do
It's
it,
gonna be 50 Shades of Greyhound. Booyah!
now that he about to do this, I might be watching some.
No, that's a
BDSM.
joke. That's a joke. It's not 50 Shades of Grey, but Wishbone is getting a live action adaptation, and I can't wait for that shit.
The
But
fact that I
low-key-
have to listen to this all again when I edit.
Just don't get too wet, baby. Did you grow up on Wishbone?
Oh
Audrey?
yeah,
Or 50 Shades
definitely.
of Grey.
Oh shit.
I wouldn't say I grew up on 50 Shades of Grey. But
Word.
You ready?
Wishbone for sure.
No, then you grew watching 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta hit 4 inches.
Yo. You do. Yo, it's not the depth, it's the wiggle.
What if it doesn't wiggle?
Personal problem.
Person.
Word, but yeah, it's like I'm so happy about that shit because now, like, I don't have any kids, but fuck them. But not fuck them, but like fuck having them. It's whatever. I'm definitely gonna be in that theater to watch that movie, just like I've been in the theater to watch mad Disney or movies geared towards kids because the inner kid in me, like, let's be happy. Cause life's shitty right now, especially with the Rona. So it's nice to go back to your childhood and relive some happy memories while you have the ability to.
Yes, it is true.
Word. And speaking of my childhood, one of my favorite series, if you know me, if you listen to this podcast or the other podcast, is fucking Power Rangers. And it's been announced that we're getting 2 new series after the previous 2, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Go-Go Power Rangers, have ended. The new series are called Power Rangers and Mighty Morphin. And the biggest thing about these is that we're going to be introduced to a whole new Green Ranger because they take place in a separate universe from the TV series. So we all know that if you fuck with it, Tommy became the Green Ranger, then he became the White Ranger, then he became Red Zeo, then he became Red Turbo, then he became Black Donald Thunder. But now they're introducing a brand new Green Ranger that will fight side to side with Tommy and the other Rangers in their current Mighty Morphin forms. And I'm just like, bring on the mystery. Because we don't know who this character is, and I can't wait to see the setup of that shit.
Oh, this for the comic book version.
Yes.
Oh,
Boom
shit.
Studios.
Woo.
Cause they had me scared.
Wait, and so they saying Tommy coming back from New York after he?
Oh, that Power Ranger Ninja Turtle crossover
Yes.
is its own separate continuity.
Oh, it's his own separate
yeah,
continuity.
so loose,
Okay.
one of those loose things like when people team up from
But
different shit.
but it could fit.
But if they wanted to, they could
they
fit
could
it in.
interpret it
Yes.
into it. Okay.
And that'd be interesting if it does connect to this direct timeline as well. But it's one of them things because they said the series were ending. I'm like, why? They're so good. Oh, because we about to reboot and take it to a whole new direction. And word. Audrey, what are your thoughts about Power Rangers? I'm a guess. No racism here. When you playing Power Rangers as a kid, you were the Yellow Ranger.
I liked the Yellow Ranger, but
Word.
a lot of times it was either the Yellow Ranger or like the pink one. Just
Was it a
'cause-
pink one because there was no white girl around to tell you that you couldn't be the pink one?
No, I mean, well, maybe. I don't know. I don't think I ever played Power Rangers with the other girls.
Word. And that makes
So
sense.
I just
too.
was like that default girl.
Exactly, because like one of the things I always bring up if I have like a loose conversation with a chick, I was like, you were the Pink Ranger. She's like, yes, or you were yellow. It's very simple, break them down to the archetypes. So it's like, yo, you're tomboyish, yada yada, Yellow Ranger, you're like the cheerleader, But it's like one of them things, and like me being black, like if I was playing with a bunch of whites, I already knew who I was gonna be. I was gonna be the Black Ranger, and it's like no shits about it because that was my favorite Ranger because he just happened to be black. But then it was interesting, like I said before, when the Green Ranger came about. White boys always want to be red because that was like that alpha leader type. But then when it was the green, nobody wanted to be red no more. So if you was a black kid and everybody wanted to be the Green Ranger, White Ranger, like, shit, I'd be the red now. But then it's like, that nigga ain't even popping. So now it's like, the fuck is going on? And then guess what? If you was a kid that ate boogers at lunchtime, you was Billy. Because nobody wanted to be Billy, more or less. But I did low-key because Triceratops were my favorite dinosaur. And he had that Zord.
So, yeah, I was also Zach by default, but I was a Billy fan because blue was low-key one of my second favorite colors, and Billy had the best storyline because he was just a nerd that ended up learning to fight from my favorite female Ranger, Trini, and then, like, became a badass for the crew.
Because you love orange chicken and chopsticks.
I don't like orange chicken, but I do love chopsticks. And
Word. You like chopping sticks up, putting weed in it, rolling up the blunts, having a good night.
That is true, too.
Highlight, high flight.
High flight.
Yeah, speaking of flight, that nigga the Falcon, right?
Yes.
Sam Wilson from Marvel.
Oh, what'd he do
The
this
movies.
season?
Guess what's happening with Captain America and Winter Soldier?
They're being delayed.
Yep.
Yes,
It was supposed to come out in August, and Disney put out the press release talking about everything's coming, and that was noticeably the biggest thing, not on the releases for next month when you hear this. So
Are they gonna mention this during virtual Comic-Con on the 23rd?
no, because Marvel said I ain't going.
But yet they're supposed to be mentioning something about New Mutants.
That's still Fox property, but anything from the MCU, they're like, no.
Oh,
But then
heck.
again, that can change.
That could change.
Because as of now, they said they're not coming at all. But then they put out the New Mutant release and shit.
And said that they do an announcement on the 23rd
Exactly.
on virtual.
And a lot of people in the geekdom world has been speculating that might be the day they actually drop it somewhere on video on demand.
And it might be a closer rumor for it to be on Disney Plus because rewatching the Comic-Con trailer earlier today, instead of having the rated R, it said PG-13.
Bullshit. It's bad.
I'm telling
it's
you.
It's a bad thing.
But the thing is, as well as all the latest X-Men movies from First Class to Apocalypse have just been put on the Disney Plus app.
And you can hear Wolverine say fuck and put up the middle finger blade as a fuck you, the Cyclops.
Yep.
I'd like to throw in real quick that it was
Go ahead,
originally rated R.
It was.
Keyword on paper.
On paper. I mean, but yet this movie was supposed to come out 4 years ago.
Exactly. It would have came out at the height of the Deadpool and the Logan era of rated R Fox movies. And if it would have been released back then, it was a high chance that it would have been rated R as well. But I don't think it would be because Disney plays by a certain set of rules that aren't extreme. But there was an event that went on this weekend when Extreme Rules was all the talk. Ross, tell these people about it.
It was a wrestling pay-per-view event this last Sunday, as well as Saturday. Impact had their Slammiversary event.
Wait. What brand was Extreme Rules through?
WWE, for those that should know because it's most common. But for those that don't be listening, WWE is the major U.S. wrestling company. But with both events happening over the weekend during Extreme Rules, few title changes. The New Day lost their tag team belts to Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. Bayley retained her belt with against Nikki Cross. MVP declared himself U.S. champion because Apollo Crews didn't clear from his medical test, but some fans theorized that he was one of those that was infected with the COVID-19.
He got the Rona?
They think so because no wrestlers is allowed to say if they got infected with it or nothing, but that's why...
This man got him on the gag order?
Yeah, like that. That's why Renee Young and them all could say it because they're not technically wrestlers.
And also they ended the backstage show, right?
Oh, yeah. WWE backstage been ended, yeah. But back to the results. Sasha Banks
There you go.
technically won the title, but right after the event, they said really Asuka is still champion. Sasha Banks is just self-declaring herself champion because Bailey counted the 1, 2, 3. She wasn't the official referee.
You're telling me that they're not gonna be 2-belt champs?
They're gonna call themselves 2-belt champs.
Can you explain what that 2-belt means?
Both Bailey and Sasha are the women's tag team champions, as well as holding both major brands women's tag team championships. That's calling themselves 2 belts. For storyline purpose, Sasha isn't champion, but she's gonna pretend she is because she won the match via her friend, as well as the cinematic match, the swamp match between the Eater of Worlds Bray Wyatt versus the human monster train Braun Strowman. I know I said that title wrong, but
it is what it
is.
You know who we talking about if you know what we're talking about.
Had a great story plot. The ending results seem that Braun Strowman won, but the after credit scenes is Bray Wyatt sent him into the swamp with him. Bray tried to escape but got pulled back in by something, only for the Fiend to rise out the water. So we don't technically know who won. In most silly things that ever happened in WWE history, Rey Mysterio lost a eye pop out during his eye for eye match.
So was it more ridiculous than when Mae Young gave birth to a whole hand?
Oh. I would kind of say yes in this current generation.
Gotta love the
because
Attitude
those
Era.
that don't know about the Attitude Era don't know about that. But yes, they had pretend the prosthetic eye popped out of Rey Mysterio's eye, and Seth Rollins had to throw up. So just seeing Seth Rollins throwing up, it just was hilarious to me because I didn't even notice the prosthetic eye. Yeah, so that was everything WWE wise. And Impact had a few appearances of people that were fired from the show. The Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, Eric Young, EC3, as well as Heath Slater.
Word. Speaking of impacts, guess what had impact on me? The fact that I realized me and Tory Lanez are the same size Negro. That nigga is 5'3", 120.
Oh no, sir. 5'2". You taller than him.
Oh shit, that's even without Tim's on. That would struck me out of surprise. Cause he got him a whole, what's made to sound like 5'10"?
No.
5'11".
Yeah, she like 5'10",
5'11".
5'11", yeah.
And being a small, petite Negro like myself, that's one of the things that you can find being very intimidating, is even having the gall to talk to a woman. Because we always have to look up to women morally and socially, because black women, they do things. And then the fact that she could look down upon you and still raise you up as an individual has to be something special. I'm not going to get into all the tick and the tack of the situation that went on between those two, because those are allegations. We have no facts come out. But I bring that up to talk about music. YWDCA7 is the latest podcast for July. And over the weekend, there were some albums that came out that I just listened to over the weekend. One was from the boy Kyle. I fucks with him. He has a track with Mr. Man, who did the track with him, if you're familiar with him, Bang. I just realized they haven't been on a song together for years, and they talk about that in the song. And that's the best song in the album, because I fuck with Kyle, because Kyle can rap. But he does a lot of lighthearted, more or less poppy type music. But on that track, he's going in. Ellie Goulding dropped a new album, which was cool. Actually, technically, it's a double album. The first half is more slower. Then the second half is more the traditional poppy EDM. That's where you get her songs with Juice WRLD and Sway Lee on that version. The Aces is like a pseudo indie pop female group that I just started fucking with. One of their songs is already on this playlist, and there's one on the last playlist. Joey Badass dropped a 3-song EP that was cool, and also Sam Smith dropped an album that's not an album. It's just like dance remixes to like 5 songs. I thought it was a whole project that I was trying to figure out why is this shit repeated. Then I was like, oh shit, there were 5 fucking songs on there. So if you want to check out any of these songs from these artists, the playlist is there. Also, Drake dropped 2 new singles over the weekend. Also,
the Gorillaz dropped a new music video as well as single featuring Schoolboy Q called Pac-Man this morning.
Yep.
So technically episode 5 of Sound Music, the new album is dropped, as well as soundbite number 8, I want to say.
Word.
With I want to say the full sound machine album dropping in September or something more dropping in September.
Word. Audrey, what music have you been listening to lately? It don't have to be anything new. Like, I kind of know how you like it dirty, but...
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I've been just tuning into a lot of live streams.
Any particular artists?
Yeah, so well, there's one actually going on right now. It's by Manic Focus. It's on of Twitch. It's every Monday. It's called Manic Mondays. It's pretty good.
It's just another Manic Monday.
Manic Monday.
Which was written by Prince.
Yes, I was about to bring that up again, which still blows my fucking mind. That's one of my favorite songs by the Go-Go's.
Which is that?
Manic Monday.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just another Manic Monday.
That's
wish it
the one I was thinking
Sunday
about.
Because it's my fun day.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
heard
Yeah.
Prince- Yeah. Also, I'm not going to get into the whole conspiracy about why Prince is no longer with us, but just like with Michael, they got a lot of publishing rights and they got to own a lot of music. Also, fun fact, when Michael Jackson purchased the Beatles catalog, he also, unbeknownst to himself, got Little Richard's catalog as well and gave back Little Richard all his properties. So that's a very powerful move by the king of pop.
Yo, I did not know he got
RP.
Little Richard's
I didn't know that shit
too.
either till after
And-
Little Richard passed.
What? So
He
what-
gave it back to him.
Yo, that shit lit.
Hell yeah, like the king of pop gave it back to, you could say, the godfather or the foundation of rock
music
and roll, which is
yeah.
Little Richard. And that's gonna wrap up Yo What's Poppin', and now we about to get into the meat of the podcast. And it's Yo Week Geeking Out, and today we're gonna be talking about the Legend of Korra. If you have not heard our previous episode about Avatar The Last Airbender featuring Shelby, you should definitely check that one out, because that is the predecessor to this series that we about to dive into right now with the lovely Audrey. So, let's get to it. Legend of Korra. Audrey, just off the top, what did you enjoy most about the series?
I enjoyed the fact that, as opposed to, like The Last Airbender, where it's kind of the same story the whole time, where, they still introduce new characters throughout it and, they're battling new things. It's still kind of the same storyline or the same end goal. Whereas, so with each season of Korra, there's a new antagonist.
Yes.
And it's kind of very centrally based around political
Exactly.
things, I
Kinda
guess.
Like with Gun and Wing and shit.
Yeah, so I mean, I would say it's a lot faster paced in that terms, where it's kind of like you have one section of the story and then it ends and you move on to a new section of the story. And yeah, I really enjoyed that part about it.
Word. And that's one of the main differences between Last Airbender with Aang and Korra is the antagonist, as you say, the villain. Because with Aang and them, it was the Fire Lord. It was Zuko's dad. That was the bit that it took 3 seasons to get there. But every season with Korra, there's somebody new that she had to fight and come back. Like, I also describe it as Drake music. Like, Avatar The Last Airbender was happy Drake. Korra is like emotional Drake. And like, they both are Drake and they both are good, but it depends what you feel like. Because the villains with Korra, she had to fight Amon, who was a bloodbender. Her Unalak, her uncle. Vatu, the literal embodiment of dark spirit energy. Zahir, who learned how to airbend just by meditating. Like, yo, I ain't heard R. Kelly, but I believe I could fly, baby. Like, he was out ended with my favorite villain for different reasons. Kavira, which was a cold shorty from the Earth Nation. But it was like me and Kavira, I just have a thing about with sassy baddies in TV. It all started when I fell in love with Shigo, but I'm gonna leave it right there though. But
She does have very Shigo vibes.
exactly,
Like,
it's like
it
the
is
green, like
the
that's why I fuck
green
with
and
Buttercup,
the dark
like,
hair.
Exactly, it's like
Oh, and I very identified with Buttercup growing up.
exactly. That's why he was the Yellow Ranger. See, it's that type of vibe.
Yes.
Respect. Ross, what about you? Why did you like Korra?
I'm gonna be honest, it kind of felt like, yeah, Aang was always destined, but yet he was afraid and then ran away from it. When they found Korra, she's just like, I got this. I'm cocky as hell. I'm gonna do some things. And we get to find out, like, sometimes being cocky ain't the way to go. And She had to get into the zen, calm herself down. Literally had to lose the ability to bend all her other 3 bendings just to get airbending. And the fact that not just only herself, all of the squad members in Team Avatar had probably way more better character development than Team Aang's Avatar.
See, that's why I would disagree, but we're not here to
To
debate.
debate. It's just, I know it might be, it's good to debate it, but I don't know. It just felt like theirs was more modernized, so it's more relatable.
Exactly. Because with Aang and them, you know what? I'm not going to go into the direct comparison. Like, I'm going to say that to whenever we actually get the live action version, so we could come back and do a whole Aang core type of situation. Because, we can't be here all day, baby.
We can't.
But let's talk about Team Avatar for Korra for a hot second. My favorite character from the whole series is the boy Bolin, whose older brother was Mako, who's a firebender. So they both come from 2 different bending tribes or nations, depending on how you want to phrase it. But Mako's very Sokka-like. He was lovable. He was the comic relief. He was the soul of the squad. He got the girls. He had multiple relationships. He was even dating one of Korra's cousins for a little bit. Voiced by Aubrey Plaza, who, like, until to this day, live action Daria, whatever, bring Daria back. You can't get original voice host, bring Aubrey Plaza in for that role. But anyway, dated her, was dating like a little mover star, because in this world, which I do love about the whole franchise, they show the evolution of technology. So now they have radios and quote-unquote movies they call movers. And then at the end of the day, he got with a airbender as well. And also the boy learned how to do lava bending. Like, lava bending was introduced in Korra, another sub bending that was introduced in the series. Same way we had like the soul bending or the chi bending with Korra that kind of stemmed from Aang's ability to block chakra at the end of Avatar. So that was cool. Did you have a favorite character in Team Avatar from this series?
In the inner core team, I guess my favorite would probably have been Bolin also. But in the whole spectrum of the show, I really liked Su Beifong. She was kind of more like the peaceful, like easygoing, like super. I wouldn't want to say hippie, but she has this like crystal jewelry on her forehead, and she's earth connected.
That makes sense too for her from being an earthbender. Like, she would connect to the crystal type energy. I didn't even think about that from that aspect.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know. And then she's kind of had a rebellious past, and like she and Lynn, her sister, were kind of, they butted heads with their lifestyles, and I feel like I definitely relate to Sue more out of the two.
Because Lynn is definitely my second favorite character in the entire series.
Really?
Oh yeah.
She's just a hard ass.
I like him hard.
You're the worst.
The worst.
Last name Britta, but it really means what? Exactly what? Ross, your favorite character?
Since you already said mine, I'm gonna have to go with my second
Bolin?
favorite. Yeah.
See, Bolin, everybody, if you haven't watched the series, watch the series, then you know why you gotta love Bolin.
Because Bolin is us in the same way Cisco is us in the Flash show.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Unleash the Dragon Cisco or Space Obama.
He said the Flash show too.
No, after the fact, he said Cisco first.
When he said it first, I was like, oh, he better not be talking about Drew Hill.
That's what I'm thinking about. Then I was thinking about Space Obama.
But I'm gonna have to go with Asumi Sato.
Word.
Asami Sato.
Oh, the chick with no powers.
The non-bender who was found out her daddy's the leader of the Equalists, and she's had to be like, yo, F you, daddy. I ain't about this life. Benders and human and non-benders should live in peace together. Exactly. I'm joining Team Avatar. Oh, guess what? I'ma date Mako. Oh, guess what? We ain't perfect forever. Oh, guess what? I'm liking Bolin, but he's like a little brother to me. Oh, guess what? I think I got feelings for Korra. Oh, guess what? Not gonna spoil the rest.
I will later at the end of this episode, because definitely if you listen to the other one, we already touched upon where I'm gonna get to that.
She was one of my favorite other characters that had a good character development. Then after that would probably be Mako because he had to realize he was just a fuckboy playboy that he didn't know he was a fuckboy.
Yo, that's interesting because Mako's character was kind of blah, but he still played his role, and it's like
He's just a bullshit version of Zuko.
exactly. I was literally about to say he's like if Zuko was a sandwich, or better yet, a hamburger with cheese and bacon. Mako was just the burger. He didn't have any of the depth. He didn't have everything else, but it's still, you still got the point of his character. And that's one thing, if I could go back, I would like give him a little more dynamic to himself. Like, and Mako, like, I like how cool he was once him and Korra, because he dated Korra first, then he got with Asami. No, he actually dated Asami first, then got with Korra, because that was one of like the dramas, like, oh shit, Korra's kind of like a tough tomboy, but she fell in love with a man, but that man has a girl, but we're all on the same side. But then he got with her, and then that kind of made the relationship between Korra and Asami kind of weird, and Korra had to bring that up just for him to be like, yo, things happen. And then it comes to a point when Mako, you know, he already became like a police officer, and like they reconnect, and it's a scene where they're all talking to each other, and Bolin brings up the point like, oh, you dated her and her, and they're just like, well, and they're like, we don't care. Like, there's other things in this world that are more important than fucking Mako ass.
The Jeffree Star approach?
Yes. Ew. And yo, like, so that's like one of the things too, that there's so many characters in this show, so many great moments, and it just piggybacks, or nah, I ain't gonna say piggyback, I ain't gonna do that at the core. It just continues on a legacy, just like Deep Space Nine continue on after Next Generation. Like, it's not the same, but it's not supposed to be the same. It's supposed to be its own entity, which also brings you into the series even more, because they intertwine with the legacies. And as part of that intertwinement, you get the actual origin of the avatars. We actually find out who the first avatar was. And what do you think about that whole story, Audrey?
Oh, I think it's so interesting. And, you know, the part where when you're going out on a hunting excursion or something for the village.
Escalade?
No. An excursion. The lion turtle gives you the bending abilities to survive out in the spirit wilds, and you have to bring it back. And however, Juan, the first avatar, he left, or I guess he got banished.
Mm-hmm. He did a lot to help bring balance and peace to the world, and that's what I like about his origin story, because I love world building. I love learning the origins to things. That's why Prometheus was a disappointment to me, because like, oh, we get the origin of the alien species, but yet we don't, but we do. So when they gave me the first Avatar, I was like, oh shit, this makes sense, and it connects back to when AIM got the ability to block out somebody's ability to bend. It makes sense when you get the lion turtles back with one, and you see how powerful and majestic they truly are. And one also answered a question that you may not have wanted to know the answer to, but then the series bring up other questions as well. Just like the end of Avatar gave us the question of, yo, where is Zuko's mom and Azula's mom as well? Like, Avatar The Last Airbender left on that cliffhanger. Korra presented another question that the fandom has had. Because Toph, my favorite character overall, doesn't matter what we talking about. Lan and Sue Beifong, she's Toph Beifong, those are her daughters. And it created the question, who's Toph's baby daddies? Like, I need a whole Mori episode when they sitting down testing Sokka and whoever else was in on the block. Like, who, fucking Boomy? I don't know what the fuck was going on back then. Like, who, did they resurrect Jet? Like, who?
Boomy?
Yeah, who was her baby daddy? Because she out there, she's doing shit. She was out there getting those boots rocked, bad pun intended. So I'm looking forward to figuring out that type of information. Are there any other questions in Korra that you want answered that you haven't found the solace in?
I wouldn't say there's any questions that I have, but I think they tried to allude to that ending with her and Asami, with them writing letters back and forth, and how she's writing to Asami and she's supposed to be writing letters to everybody, but she kind of tells Asami, no, don't tell anyone that I'm writing to you. She's like, it's easier to talk to you about this stuff. So, and then I think at the time you don't really know what they mean by that. And I think they try to use that and tie that into the ending, but at the same time, I don't really know if that's like
Word. Because I'm gonna
what
bring
the
that,
original intention was.
I'm gonna bring that up after we wrap up this segment, and yo, check it out. Ross, are there any lingering plot threads that you wish were answered?
Not really, outside the fact of who Top's baby daddies are. I mean, that's the only real big common one. Past the fact of, did Korra and Asami just stay in the spirit world, or are they just traveling between both realms?
Word. And this segment is about to come to an end, but before we do that, like, one thing I want to talk about real quick is the voice talent. Like I already mentioned earlier that Aubrey Plaza was the voice of a character, Korra's cousin. And also then we have Tenzin on there that plays Aang's son, his youngest son, because he has 2 other children. And like it's not enough time in the world to talk about all these characters, because I totally just realized we didn't even talk about that aspect of the show, or how Katara taught Korra how to waterbend, which basically is her teaching her husband to do that shit all over again, because Avatar's are reincarnations. But J.K. Simmons plays Tenzin, Aang's son, and you know him, like I just stated, Joe Jonah Jameson. He was in Whiplash. He was in Jennifer's Body, one of my favorite movies of all time. You know who he is. And Daniel, who else like lended their voices to this amazing TV series?
So there's actually about 3 that I really want to hit on, and those are, 1, Bruce Davison, who you guys would know as Senator Kelly from the first X-Men movie.
Oh, shit!
He voiced Lord Zuko.
Oh, Zuko!
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit!
The next one on the list would be Kuvira, who was voiced by Robin Williams' daughter, Zelda Williams.
Oh, shit.
And then the main character, Korra, was voiced by Janet Varney. And if you don't know her, you need to know her. She was in Stand Against Evil, and she was in You're the Worst, which is an FX show that talks about bad people being in relationships.
With the skinny nigga?
Yep.
From the Seth Rogen movies?
And it's so good. You guys need to watch You're the
Was
Worst.
she the main character?
She is his
thing?
ex-girlfriend, whose sister is best friends with one of the main protagonists.
Word. And there was another character on there too, right?
Mm-hmm. Henry Rollins was in this show as well.
And who did he voice?
Zahir.
Yo.
Henry Rollins is amazing.
He was also in one of my favorite movies as well, Feast. And Zahir is one of the best villains in the whole series. Because this dude did what not only Master Airbenders couldn't do, and Aang couldn't do himself as the Avatar. This dude never had bending, got airbending, came out of prison, and just started flying.
And then the last one that I will mention is John Michael Higgins. And for you guys, you'd know him as Jeff's professor of the class, I want to say season 1 in Community.
Yes.
Who was like, seize the day. Seize the day. Carpe diem.
Or if you're a pitcher like me and Ross, you know him as the male announcer from the Pitch Perfect movies that said all the inappropriate shit. And he did a voice of who? Varric. And it makes so much sense now. Like, that's the power of good animation as a good TV series. It's like, you hear these characters, you see who voiced them, and it brings in a whole nother layer to the series, which also gives it way more rewatchable value. And with that being said, we're gonna wrap this up, and we're gonna go to Yo Check It Out. So check it out. Yep, Yo Check It Out. So this is the part of the show when we recommend certain things, whether it's a book, comic book, movie, TV series, for all those who already enjoy the wonderment of Legend of Korra or any other subjects that we talk about in Yo Geeking Out. I'm gonna start this off with our guest. So Audrey, what would you recommend for all those who already experienced the wonderful TV series known as Legend of Korra?
I mean, it's hard to definitely give suggestions because it's such a great series. So the show that I would recommend is called Kakagurui. I think that's how it's pronounced anyway. It's
On Netflix,
It's on
correct?
Netflix. Yeah.
Word.
It's just based on, a high school where you gamble
Word.
and for your social status.
Life is Russian roulette.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really a cool little anime. Focuses around a known top girl that's just trying to prove that she's one of the top gamblers at this.
Yo,
gambling
so
school.
she's a top girl that's tired of being a bottom bitch.
Well, no, she just always got. She always got certain abilities, but like how it kind of set up is like the new kid in school ends up losing in a bet, and she basically wins his. Technically, she wins him as a slave. Yeah, she wins.
All right, I'm gonna cut that off as slave, and that's what's up. It's already on my list. So now that you gave it a recommendation, I'm definitely gonna check that shit out. Ross, what about you? What you recommend to the people?
I might have to go with Saga Tanya the Evil. It's really about, somebody that defied God because God accidentally killed him. So God basically challenges this person like in their next resurrection to that they'll pray for him, and if not, like this, that, and the third. So this person's trying his best to prove God wrong. Been reincarnated as a little girl at the age of 8.
That's the one.
In this Mother Russia where there's magic. She's leading the army, and it's really a story about a female platoon unit following her and seeing her greatness and devotion.
Word. It's like Brad Pitt in Glorious Bastards, but he was a little blonde chick.
But
Word, like Sucker Punch.
But her little main goal is just to move up in the ranks and retire. So because this is her last life, and she really wants to live this great life because in her previous life, she was just a dude that was a middleman working in Japan, like a rescue.
Yo, that's what's up because it deals with reincarnation just like with Korra. Baller.
Yep.
So what I'm going to recommend that would also answer both yours, Audrey, and your Ross question about Asami and Korra is the Korra graphic novel produced by Dark Horse. And literally the first volume of it, they go right into it. If you want me to know, I can say it right now, but you can just read it yourself. Also, like I told you, Audrey, I could definitely let you borrow that shit. And they explain all the Asami Korra shit. They'll let you know what they were doing in the spirit realm. And yeah, that's all I got to do. That's all I got to say.
So I hope y'all have another great weekend during this time of difficulties. Keep on your mask, y'all. Be safe around people and yourself.
Try to social distance as much as you can, if that's even possible.
Remember, we're all in this together.
Yep.
20 seconds, wash your hands.
Yes. And thank you again, Audrey, for being on the podcast. Like you said, you was a little timid. You didn't know if you wanted to do it
a little nervous,
back in the day, but guess what?
You're here now.
Time has elapsed. Now you are here. It's easy to say back then, but now we're in the future, and the future is the present. And guess what?
Look, here we are.
It's not like pulling teeth. It's like, fine, yes, we're right here, and we did it. So that's going to bring us to the closing of episode 18 of Yo, Where the Captions At? The most ridiculously random pop culture podcast in the 719, baby. As always, I'm yours truly, Kels for Show.
And I'm yours truly, Roscoe. Love, peace, everybody.
Exactly. And tonight's episode, we're going to end you with a song called Black Hole Lullaby by Prefab Soul. If you've been listening to the last couple of episodes, we've ended these on one of his songs. And yeah, well, that's that, guys. And as always, be one or be nothing.
Be kind, y'all.
Late.